All right, hello everyone. Here we have exciting matchup of FlyQuest versus TSM. This is week 6, day 2. So right in the middle of the season, both these teams fighting for playoffs. As you can see, FlyQuest with a slight edge over TSM, but let's be frank, FlyQuest is overperforming and TSM is greatly underperforming. Just coming hot off their first time not going to Worlds, and now they, in the following split, have a chance of not being there going into playoffs. So that would be extremely disappointed for Reggie and the gang. But here we have the first pick going over to FlyQuest, picking up the mid laner. Zoe is going to be headed over to Keen. TSM in turn picking up the support, and then we'll most likely either pick the jungler or the AD carry. Let's see with what pick that they're going to go ahead with. Ezreal pick would be a Sven staple, and the Mithy having the Braum is no surprise there. So a very safe, traditional, standard bot lane here, TSM. FlyQuest now responding is going to be most likely picking their jungle as support, or they could be also picking their bottom lane. So picking up the Ashe would be a little bit more utility than what the Ezreal provides, but not quite as safe. But making up for that, the tank support, Tom Kench, which is going to make up for Ashe's lack of mobility. So also picking up the bot lane. So deciding FlyQuest, first of all, get the power pick Zoe. And yes, we'll have a chance to be countered, but just feeling that she is deserving of a first pick. And then going ahead and picking up the bot lane before continuing on with the bans. And then TSM responding by picking the very difficult to counter Ezreal Braum, which pretty much only maybe a Caitlyn would be able to really counter the Ezreal that well, but she's not in the meta very much of late. And TSM deciding to take out the Gangplank to prevent Flame from being able to play that staple. FlyQuest in turn banning out the Rise. Going to see if they can pinch Bjergsen a little bit. They already know who they're playing in Zoe, so they could go ahead and throw another ban Bjergsen's way. They already have 2 his direction, and they could follow up with a third, with Kindred being taken out on TSM side. That's exactly what they do here, taking out the LeBlanc. So Orianna, Rise, LeBlanc taken away from Bjergsen just to give Keen an easier time with the Zoe. But Bjergsen has many more champions up his sleeve. A little bit curious they don't pick the mid laner right now. I don't quite get that. You already know the Zoe's going mid, so TSM should really have picked their mid there. The Sejuani very well could be the jungler. The Kennen is going to be for top lane, so picking right into the Gnar. So that is going to be a heavily skilled matchup up there. And going ahead locking that in. Lots of tank on the FlyQuest team. And the old staple, Bjergsen, picking out the Syndra. Oh, how exciting. This is, it's like it's going back to Season 3, Season 4 here, seeing this Syndra being picked out. Just when you get a certain amount of AP and you can get your combo off and ultimate with all the globes, you can burst just about any squishy in the game. So Bjergsen is going to try to be getting a lead here, and both have burst mid laners. with Zoe on one side, Syndra on the other. For the TSM squad, rounding it out is the Trundle. So picking Trundle is going to be pretty advantageous for TSM, as he's going to have two tanky targets to go ahead and use the subjugate on to make himself that huge tank himself as he engages. So he can go onto the support or the jungler. And there you see Saint Vicious and now the new coach Lustboy. So recently being given a promotion, having been with the team for a while, but now being promoted to the on-stage coach, where pick ban is of necessary. So FlyQuest, we've got Flame, Santorin, Keen, Wild Turtle, and JJ. Special note for the FlyQuest: Wild Turtle and JJ both hailing from Toronto, my locale. I have know a contact who has met Wild Turtle, and I've personally met JJ myself, casting one of his tournaments over at Legends of the Rift, where they were pushed to a 3-game series, and they did win it out, the University of Toronto team, but against a couple of challenger players and some very, very high tier play. Just having the pleasure of casting JJ and Airy, who's also on the FlyQuest practice squad, and the rest of the crew. So both teams not guaranteed spots as of yet. TSM is going to have to get their act together at some point to make playoffs. Team Liquid, Echo Fox, 100 Thieves, all looking very strong. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. Yes, it has been a hectic season, but there are some clear teams that are up ahead. FlyQuest is trying to become one of these teams. Honestly, have a very special place in my heart because they have 3 of the University of Toronto players that were recruited onto their team. Currently, one of them playing in JJ, the support player. Been a long-time challenger player as well, so definitely no stranger to the scene. Historically, when you think about a Wild Turtle versus Sven matchup, you would think that Sven would have the advantage. Wild Turtle been a very solid AD carry in North America for many years, just not often thought of in the same light as Double Lift, whereas Sven has been thought in that same light as Double Lift with good support, Mithy, but struggling to find their place here in the NA region. But many of the bot lanes speak very highly of Sven and Mithy, and even though the standings have not always gone so well for TSM since they've come over, their play in scrims and their reputation definitely precedes them. So we have TSM. They picked up that scuttle, as you can see there. Going for a double buff start is Santorin, knowing that radius of the vision extremely well. Heading up to top lane, does have the double buffs. Red still available. Not going to go up right away. Wants to get that level 3. Going to go ahead and pick up the Gromps, and we're going to see if that's going to be enough to level 3 him. Did see him place that ward. Did know that that ward was placed. I'm very curious at the top lane. I really hope the camera pans out. First time played this year, as you can see, Flame as Kennen. Not been a staple pick. There we have the level 3, but now Hanser pushed under turret. Reason why Santorin wanted to get that was to be able to get this knockup. Goes ahead and hits it. Flashes to get, lands the stun, passes it over to Flame, and the first blood going over to Flame. Just mentioning how it was his first time playing Kennen in this split. And also mentioning back in the Champion Select that it is a skill matchup in Kennen versus Gnar. But if it goes one way or the other, here we have a dive going onto Keen. TSM trying to get something back into the mid lane. Stun going up. Grape going in the finish. Just barely able to go. Oh, and he just misses the Wow, the club was just on its way, and Santorin lands the stun, followed by picking up the kill for Keen. So, yes, First Blood did go up towards Kennen, but Keen being able to pick up that second blood with Santorin staying right behind Envision. And here we're going to see the first dive into the top. Santorin picking up that level 3 so he could get all 3 summoner spells, wanted to get that second form of CC. Here he goes. Knock up hits. Flashes to make sure to get all 3 procs. Lands the stun. Leaves it right open for Flame. Going ahead and finishing with the damage. And here, once again, Bjergsen landing the CC. Taking 1 shot. 2 shots. A 3rd shot. And that's all he can take. But Greg getting slowed up once again by the Sejuani in the right place at the right time. And seeing that dive was going to happen. And with Keen going down and to the left towards that bush, was able to get Santorin into that play, picking up the second kill of the game for it. So FlyQuest with the early lead, lots going on. Pays particular attention to Flame here in the top lane. If he could go ahead and get another gank or be able to just win a solo lane up against Haunser, that could be definitely a way for FlyQuest to win the game. JJ taking a lot of damage, and we're going to see if Greg's going to be able to get the knock up. No, not going to do that. Could have put the no, we already used the speed, but definitely could have put the slow, but might not have been enough damage with JJ having the flash still up, as well as Wild Turtle. So there's 2 flashes on bottom lane. Wild Turtle, of course, going with the teleport as Ashe, as many of the AD carries have been intending to do this season. Santorin once again going into the top side, wanting to give Flame all kinds of help, and that is the right play. That's what he wants to be doing. Greg going to pick up the level 5 on that golem that was left by Santorin. Santorin could have decided to stay and then try to smite the golem, but did not want to possibly give up a kill to Haunser or to Greg for that matter. So deciding to quit the counter jungling and head back to his own. He's going to go ahead and head down towards the bot lane, not for Dragon, but for this jungle, and then possibly a gank either in bot or mid. So we're going to see what Santorin's path is going to be. Meanwhile, Flame is in top lane, solo pushing that, going to get that right to tower, and is going to secure himself the CS lead. Already pick up the first Hextech item, and it's going to be looking to pick up a little bit more, but not really hard pushing this, just wanting to pick up as many levels and as much gold as possible, up 20 CS. That's very significant at the 7-minute mark. That is nothing to laugh at. Haunser with the one of the lowest minion differentials at 10 minutes in the entire league for top laners. So Haunser does have some good stats in some other areas, but definitely in the minions at 10, he's falling behind, and this is most certainly one of those games. Keen just a little bit down in CS from Bjergsen, but still has that first kill. I mean, not first blood, but first kill there here in the mid lane. Went ahead and picked up the defensive boots, and that's how much respect that he's showing Bjergsen, and rightly so. Better to get those Mercurial treads, just because you want to get that tenacity, and having a little bit of magic resistance just might help the 100 to 0 go to 100 to 20, and then be able to get back to base and heal up. So FlyQuest does not know they're just waiting there for no reason. Does not look like they're going to get any sort of activity. Double control wards. It's a nice place. It rarely gets checked, so you can often have a control ward in there for 4 or 5 minutes. So nice placing. Both junglers valuing vision. That's just going to be handed over. Bjergsen being able to lock that one down. Bot lane's going fairly evenly. Going to see if Wild Turtle's going to be throwing any arrows out across the map, or whether he's going to be more focused in lane. Santorin tracking Grig in the jungle. Had a good idea of where he's been the whole time. Most likely he's going to hand over the blue buff to Keen. Keen still having the stopwatch as well as JJ, so it's two stopwatches for FlyQuest. With Missy having the minion dematerializer. Already using 3 charges on that. Want to make sure they don't get too pushed in. Grig is looking for Flame to push up, but Flame deciding to head down and get a little vision. Understanding that he has his lead, and really only a gank would be able to change that, as he should not be losing a one-on-one, specifically when he goes back to buy as well. He sitting on a fair bit of gold. I'm willing to wager he has a good 2,000, 2,500 gold. Santorin deciding to head over to the Rift Herald, which is at 10-minute mark a much more valuable objective than the Wind Dragon. So Flame's going to see that Haunter is backing, so he's going to push this wave in, and he really should back at this point. Wants to go ahead. He should be able to go ahead and get that lead in item form. Bjergsen hitting his shots, Keen missing his, where you have the health advantage. TSM looking to trade objectives on the opposite side of the map. FlyQuest getting that topside objective as well as having that topside lead, so controlling that side, whereas TSM is going to look to establish some of their own control towards the bottom. Keen getting the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and the follow-up damage for half health. Just going to make sure that Bjergsen is not so eager to engage. Wild Turtle now picking up his Blade of the Ruin King. Most likely will then go for a Hurricane. Sven appears to be going for the Gauntlet. We're going to have to see whether he does the Manamune into Gauntlet or the other way around. But early Rift Herald views, minions being cleared out. We're going to see if FlyQuest is going to try to press this to get this turret. I don't think they will. They don't have great people to push that. But getting mid tower down to 10% health is also very, very useful. This would be first tower if they could go ahead and secure that. And with these first 2 kills and a first tower, that would establish a real nice gold lead pre-15 minutes. But deciding not to press too far, lest they be CC'd and caught around the TSM turret, decided to back off. But push continuing for JJ Wild Turtle. Canadian bot lane getting their aggro on. Then finishing off his Manamune. Still has that sheen as well. Got those free ass boots. So at a nice point here for Ezreal. Did go Klepto, so getting a little bit of extra money just because of that. Wild Turtle finishing his first item even before any boots. So he does have a fair bit of trading power with this Blade of the Ruin King. Both AD carries are pretty happy at their position at this point. Only real difference is in the top lane. That's where the significant difference is. Other than that, pretty even all across the board with TSM picking up that first Cloud Drake, so that could make up for the Cannon B having a lead. Maybe ever so slightly. Once again, blue buff being handed over. Bjergsen still has been kept off the leaderboard, but landing pretty much all the farm he's going for, now at 153 at 1440. He's going to go ahead and roam towards bottom lane. Looking like we're going to have a dive of some sort. 3 people are down. Bjergsen deciding to head back to mid lane. So they thought about it. FlyQuest is realizing that it's a possibility and deciding to play back behind their turret. So nice safe play from FlyQuest, and TSM deciding not to pull the trigger when they saw that FlyQuest was onto them. Damage being traded back and forth. Sven getting the worst of that one. FlyQuest get the information of seeing where Grig is, and most importantly, where he isn't, which is top side. He is bottom side. This mid lane would be a very valuable prize. Just a couple of autos. Help get it down. There he is. Keen making sure to land that one. First tower going over, but not the massive gold lead as would have been before. Only about 2,000. Santorin taking a little too much damage. Ultimate used by Bjergsen. Traded back by Keen. Fairly aggressive pushing up this far. Looks like he's heading over towards blue buff. Gonna grab that to stay into the same realm as Bjergsen is. Second tower going over for FlyQuest. Still about 2,300 gold lead. Nothing too major, but isn't an item or a 3/4 item depending on the price. Next dragon coming up is a mountain dragon, 40 seconds. FlyQuest is pushing on both bot lane and mid lane. Mid lane's going to go back, going to get a buy. Oh, deciding not to. Vision being pinged out in the bottom side of mid lane. So this is all being set up for the dragon. TSM grabbing the Scuttle Crab, clearing out vision. They don't have any aggressive vision, but they do have the river completely illuminated end to end. Control ward on the pit with the Scuttle Crab. This is a safe dragon to start. Not really any surprises. Gnar is backing, but deciding to stop the back. Both teleports are up for the top laners. But I'd be a little bit surprised if we see a TP down here. I think they're just going to fight up in top lane. It looks like TSM is going to go ahead and give this one up. With Bjergsen mid and Sven bottom, this is FlyQuest just to grab. And yeah, they're going to decide not to take that fight, decide to push the bottom wave into turret. Mid wave is currently being pushed. And just taking a little bit more of a cautious play there. Not a bad play. They did not need to fight that. And back at the top lane, not a whole lot's been going on up here since the early part of the game. Ezreal now picking up the red buff. Appears to be going, he goes ahead and picks up that Triforce. Now with the nice mid-game power spike here on Ezreal, when you get these two items complete, Then when you combine the power of the free ass boots, you're looking good. These are the type of mid-game fights now that you want to take as TSM. Wild Turtle being caught out just a little bit. Very fortunately, dodging the Winter's Bite there from Missy. That had hit. Could have been go time. FlyQuest deciding to engage under this fight. JJ already has half his health bar. Being knocked up. CC being traded back and forth. FlyQuest now starting to think the better of it, and JJ is almost dead. If I were FlyQuest, I would back off. But then again, Keen picking up the snipe onto Missy. That's supposed to be one of their tanks here on TSM, but because of the level disadvantage with the Ignite that Keen has as a summoner spell, being able to do just enough to pick up the TSM support. Now 3-0. This is now where the lead starts to get a little bit concerning, as you have FlyQuest now 3,300. Mountain Dragon picked up, the slightly more useful of the dragons compared to the Wind, and a little bit of an aggressive play, trying to go for this Baron. They're going to instead decide to back. At least two of them being seen in TSM wards. So here you're going to see Tahm Kench take a lot of damage, but then as well, a bunch of damage going over towards Hanser and Grig. Missy here with a full half health bar. Trouble, that gets him down to a third. And really the Ignite wasn't even necessary, but just wanting to make sure that the kill went through. And now Keen 2-0 and 0, the larger assassin threat than Bjergsen has become. But despite Bjergsen having an item complete and on his way to his second, Keen already has his second item complete and already started to build a little bit of magic penetration, whereas Bjergsen has not yet to do so. Top lane items, we're seeing Flame going for the AP build. That's the older school build, the kind of more classic. Whereas in the past 2 or 3 seasons, we've seen more of the on-hit cannon builds, the Blade of the Ruin King type builds. But this build a little bit more reliant on the ultimate. So historically in the past, why people stopped doing this build is because someone carrying the exhaust summoner would just immediately use it on Kennen as soon as he went in, negating a lot of that damage on his ultimate, and then it means that Kennen is, pretty useless after that if you're not going to have the on-hit build. So that's historically what was done in the past, but as you can see, no exhaust on TSM, as now AD carries tend to be taking the teleports, and supports now can take heal, they can take ignite, but rarely are they taking exhaust anymore. But they do have spellbook on Braum, so can switch that over to an exhaust. But really only 2 targets, Wild Turtle and Flame, that would be possible for that. So he might not do that. Ultimate going over to Bjergsen, who then cleanses out of it. That's why he got that. JJ way out, just a little bit of inexperience, and then flashing into the back end of the CC. That's just a little bit of nerves, a little bit of inexperience, and not you can die at that point, but you can't use your flash as well. So just TSM being able to come back, catching the support just a little bit out, and Bjergsen now is going to start pushing those waves. As you can see, he walked right past 2 control wards, and just is more focused on pushing this wave. He just wanted to keep the pressure up, keep these waves pushed in so that a Baron play is possible. Both of these have blue buffs. Sleepy Trouble Bullet hits. Keen going to try to hit, but a minion blocks it. Bjergsen now has the advantage. He has minions pushing into Keen, but deciding to back instead of continuing that fight is Bjergsen. 1-0 and 1. with the farm lead. So now at about an even gold situation with Keen, and now picking up the Banshee's Veil for a little bit of added protection. So Banshee's Veil, Cleanse, and the Mercury Treads for the added tenacity. Bjergsen is very difficult to kill and has not been died yet. So as you can see, JJ not where he should be. Turtle tried to fight back with the arrow, but 5-on-4, there was only so much damage they could do. They were able to trade a fair bit of damage back onto TSM, which stopped their push, but not being able to get the trading kill in return. TSM looking for an objective. All they have is the Wind Dragon. They would love a tower. They would love this Mountain Dragon, but they can't do anything until Hanser is coming up. But started moving up, decided against it. It's going to continue pushing bot. This is the go for FlyQuest. FlyQuest needs to engage in here, deciding not to. And they're going to lose the turret in the meantime. So do they decide to trade this dragon back? Appears so, but they are going to be putting themselves directly in a flank. So here the first mountain dragon helping them burst this one down. Now a second one, and this gives them all kind of pressure. Pressure to do Baron, pressure to be able to push a turret or two extremely quickly. 2 mountain dragons plus 40% onto these objectives. They're not the highest damaged team. More a kind of CC into burst, but you know, they have the reposition of the Tahm Kench. They have the engage tool of the Ashe, as well as the Sejuani. So they've got a lot of different boxes checked in their team comp. FlyQuest, a nice balanced team. Maybe a little bit heavy on the ability power. This is why you see TSM going towards, as you can see, their top laner, going for the Adaptive Helm, Mercury Treads, and then over to the mid laner. Here, Bjergsen with the Banshee's Veil, Merc Treads. Braum now getting in the action with 2 Null Mantle Cloaks and the Merc Treads. So 4 Merc Treads. This is what happens if you have this much AP. And let's for FlyQuest's sake, I hope it doesn't come and bite them. This could have been avoided if Flame went for the on-hit build instead of going AP. This whole situation, but wanting to go for that AP. Still no exhaust on the team for TSM. So if Flame can get a nice flank, a good engage, he does have the Zhonya's Hourglass finish. So has all the tools he needs now to get in, get a lot of these health bars down to half, and then have Ashe and Zoe finish it up. But it's going to require a perfect engage, and be reliant on Ashe, Sejuani, or perhaps an ultimate from Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench, once again, getting caught, already down to half, getting knocked up. Lots being used under the support here. JJ going down once more, but how much was used? For ultimates, it's just the Braum. So JJ getting knocked out, and that's going to mean that TSM is going to try baiting the Baron. But not only that, they're also getting a push on top and getting the solo gold and experience for Bjergsen is still a win. Even if that's all they get is 1 tower and some experience, that's still worth it. Ashe arrow going out, hitting the Braum, getting right into the way. Damage traded back onto the Santorin. TSM deciding to fall back on this. JJ ultimately needing to just get into the fight. They want to take this, but deciding to back off. And JJ used his ultimate for a little bit nothing there, but just wanted to be sure in case they were going to get re-engaged by TSM. He wanted to be there to eat up Wild Turtle or Keen, and he was in position to do that. So Flame on the bot lane, no more lead against Hanser anymore. Hanser doing a good job staying in this game, not dying any more than that first gank, keeping up with the CS, and knocking down a couple of kills himself. Now at 3 items, definitely no hindrance to his team. Sven working towards his second item, a third item rather, as is Bjergsen. These third item power spikes can be when one of these teams decides to fight or not. Both teams have mid-game team fighting comps. So let's see if they can do it. Who's going to get the engage? Who's going to finish that item first? I'm keeping an eye on it. So far, not as of yet. This very well could be Kennen's third item, as he's backing. Hanser already has his, with the Randuin's Owen rounding out the defense. Full magic penetration. Kennen now dealing very close to true damage. Zoe as well, picking up the third item. This could be FlyQuest's chance. This is their chance right now. Both top laners split pushing on the bottom. Flame pushed the wave in. He's going to be able to move towards mid. First clearing out the ward inside the bush. FlyQuest attempting to play onto Hanser. Really going to be very difficult on the most tanky member. TSM then deciding to keep pushing down mid. Picking up the kill onto Hanser is JJ and Sven. And they're going to decide to push. It looks like TSM is pushing mid lane. They're going to try to trade turrets, but this is highly unadvisable because FlyQuest is pushing directly onto an inhibitor turret, and with double Mountain Dragons, they're doing plus 40%. Flame and Wild Turtle are pushing extremely fast. It looks like Santorin is going in, getting the ultimate. 2 TSM members are attempting to back. Santorin gets in, stops the back. Only Greg is going to be able to go back. That's it. You got 3 members fighting. FlyQuest being able to knock this down. They're going for the finish. Only Sven is in right now. Greg still got locked up in the mid. And Fly Turtle, they're going to be able to do it. FlyQuest, Wild Turtle, Flame, they pushed it out. What a finish. Pushed out to the bot lane. Double Mountain Dragon. Did so much more in the way of structure damage than the 4 members of TSM who had to contend with a small minion wave, a full health mid turret, and I'm not sure if it was Mithy calling that, but not a right call for TSM, and that game was not over. That was still anybody's game. They still had not had a Baron go over one way or the other. But Flame, Wild Turtle, excellent decision pushing there. Whoever made that call. Whether it's Santorin as the jungler calling from somewhere else, or whether it was the both veterans in Flame and Wild Turtle, but being able to pick up this win, FlyQuest putting themselves in a solid 4th place. They're already in 4th place, but now the pack is beginning to stretch between the top teams and the bottom teams, with TL clearly in the top. And FlyQuest wants to be in the mix with Echo Fox and 100 Thieves. And with this win over TSM, yes, TSM struggling, but they're still the name. They still expect the big playoffs. They have the players. It's just their jungler that's a little bit suspect, but not completely not the jungler's fault here. And here's Avali going in with Wild Turtle. Let's go ahead and listen in and see what they have to say.
Honestly, we had like a pretty long stalemate where we're like kind of didn't know what to do. So we're like, all right, I think we just need to like try to kill someone on their side lane. So we were kind of looking for that the whole time. And then I think when we saw 4 members of TSM mid, and then we saw our members around there, and they could potentially stop the bases, we were like, all right, maybe we can actually end the game here. So we just tried for it and it worked out.
Now, our base race is just going to be the new signature move of FlyQuest.
Seems like we can't win any other way, you know?
Well, Turtle, thank you and congratulations again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Well, nice little bit of levity. I'm going to go ahead and pause this on the desk, but what a exciting midseason game here between FlyQuest and TSM. FlyQuest putting themselves up into consideration. Nobody can really deny it as a playoff team. Now at 7-5, and really you would not expect that with this team. When you have the whole team, Flame, Centaur, Keen, Wild Turtle, JJ, there's no superstars in this team. Really, Flame being the only one you could possibly talk about being a star, but yeah, it's still and being able to really come together, and it seems like keeping a high percentage of the team, just really keeping the team together, just switching the support out. For this split, FlyQuest gelling at the right time, and with all the turmoil in the meta, being able to now pick up a win against TSM. And TSM, what can you say that puts them at 5-7, and you wouldn't want to call them out here in the playoffs, but really, whether Reggie steps in or not towards the end of the season, or like if some kind of fire gets put under them, whether they triple block, quad block, whatever, they need to get some wins, and they can't lose against teams like FlyQuest. So this is RavExel here on week 6, day 2, FlyQuest over TSM. Hope you enjoy the cast, and I'll see you later.